Most of you in this room have had a connection with a pet at some point in your life. Whether it was a dog, cat, rabbit, guinea pig, or other animal, they have all made a big impact on your life. Now imagine that animal in a laboratory being tortured and eventually killed, and knowing that you can do nothing to help them. According to PETA, the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, an American-based organization for animal rights, millions of animals die each year from product testing alone. Scientists need to find new ways to test consumer products instead of on these innocent animals. Today I will be discussing the problem of product testing on animals and some of the many solutions that are around today. NAVSA, a London-based nonprofit organization for animal welfare, states that for one test, scientists force animals to consume, inhale, or ingest chemicals in products in groups of 3 to 6. These tests check for all of the reactions, irritations, and effects these products and chemicals have on these animals to know what will happen to humans. Imagine getting makeup dropped in your eyes, your skin being ripped off, having things shoved down your mouth that you don't like, which are chemically very strong, and having things rubbed all over your skin to check for irritations. This is what is happening to these poor animals. The FDAC, which is a Federal Department of Health and Human Services, created the FD&C Acts. This requires companies to test all of their products to ensure that these chemicals are safe for human consumption. PETA, which I have previously cited, states that these animals suffer through tests with no pain relief and are eventually killed. These animals suffer from severe abdominal pain, diarrhea, seizures, paralyzation, and some of them eventually die. The Humane Society, which is one of the largest animal protection organizations in the world today, states that in all of the world there is only one country today that still requires animal testing, and that country is China. They require these tests on all imported goods from other countries, even if these products have been tested in the countries they came from. PETA, which I've previously cited, says that these testing also affects the genetic makeup of the parents, and that later goes on to affect the offspring. So just because they're testing on moms, that means that they'll pass all of the things that are happening to them onto their offspring, when those offspring do not have a very good chance of survival. There is over 100 million animals that die each year from product testing alone. And with all the new technology that is around today, we can put a stop to all those animals dying. The Humane Society, which I've previously cited, says that with all the technology that scientists have created today, there are over 50 alternative tests that testing on animals. Sonali Doke, the professor of pharmacology at SRTM University in India, published a journal in 2015 stating that in 2012 a strategy was created by scientists to stop this problem. This strategy has 3 steps: reduction, refinement, and replacement. Reduction would be taking the amount of animals that are being used per test and minimizing them, or minimizing the number of tests that actually are conducted. Refinement would be taking any tests that are still required and making them to minimize the distress and pain of animals. And replacement would be finding and implementing all of these new strategies they have for testing products. Some of these replacements include cell and cultures, which they would use in test tubes. Others would be computer models, which would be tested on chemicals and drugs, and that is it. Others include organisms, such as bacteria and fungi. Although this is just a strategy, it will take a lot of work to fully implement this strategy. This strategy is very logical because studies show that these tests are very inaccurate and they are not similar to humans at all. India and Israel are some of the many countries that have banned product testing today. The Humane Society states that if we implement this strategy, we will stop the torturing of thousands of innocent animals. All kinds of information can be found on this online and everywhere else, books, magazines, everywhere. Kang M., a professor at Ewha Women's University in South Korea, published a journal in 2016 stating that 98% of all scientists that test on animals suffer from severe anxiety, and by implementing these new strategies, they would relieve all of their anxieties. PETA would much rather see them use alternative testing than this because it will save millions of animals' lives. Today I have discussed the problem of product testing on animals and some of the many solutions. Scientists need to find and implement these new test so that way we can save millions of innocent animals. Next time you use shampoo in the shower or apply makeup to go to school, remember the 100 million animals that died to make that product safe.